Well, good morning. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. How are you all today? I want to talk about what's going to happen Saturday, September 24th. We've been hearing about, and I've seen a lot of, as I've said before, I don't watch many other YouTubes, videos, and I've hardly ever watched any anymore, to be real honest. So I don't know what anybody's saying. But I see a whole lot of things. You know how the feed, and you go down, you see if there's anything that particularly interests you, and I see a lot of this, September 24. And I'm familiar with what was it German, wasn't a chancellor, whoever it was, somebody in Germany says that everybody's going to remember where they were and when they on Saturday, September 24. Now, there's only a couple of instances in my lifetime that I remember where I was. I mean, so this is meant to indicate, hey, folks, there's something big coming. And the first one was when I heard about the assassination of JFK. I was in the 5th grade then, and I was in the bathroom, matter of fact. And all we could talk about was, oh man, I bet all the Catholic schools are getting out. I hope we get out early. That's what everybody was saying. And then, of course, 9/11. And I was at work when I heard that. So, and when they say you're going to remember, everybody's going to remember where they were on September 24, I don't know. Let's talk about that in a minute. I ought to say a couple of things before we get into that and my thoughts on it. Welcome to all the new people. Welcome to all of the new people, both on YouTube and on Patreon. It's great to have you. If you'd like to join us on Patreon, I always put the link down below in the information section and a pinned comment. And I put a lot of stuff over there that I don't put on YouTube. I just put up one. I put up a special one. We have 2 levels over there. We have just the normal level for $1 a month, and then we have a Stone Monitor level at $5 a month. The Stone Monitor gives you access to me asking questions that I'll get back to, and then I just put up a special video just for Stone Monitors today about the time I got thrown in the pokey wearing a pink T-shirt, and it's kind of a funny story. I wasn't ever sure I was going to tell that story, but I thought the Stone Monitors they might enjoy that. And then I answered some questions from Stone Monitors. I just have so many comments and so many questions now, I can't get to all of them, and that's why we put in the Stone Monitor level. And so the first thing that I do in the morning, and it's all about habit. I was thinking I don't have time to do anything extra and all this, but it's about habit. It's about creating habit. So the first thing that I do when I get up in the morning now, after I see the kids off to school, as I have my cup of coffee and I start going down through all my messages and all my emails, and I'll check pretty much everything that comes in from Patreon, and I get an email, comment, and I will acknowledge those, with a heart or a thumbs up, saying yeah, I got it, and it's I'll be honest, the conversation, the information coming out of our commenters over there on Patreon now is just exceptional, and I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite things to do in the morning is to read those comments, and then throughout the day I'll check them and see what some people are saying. But then I'll check the ones that say in their comments, Stone Monitor, and that's the thing to do. If you have a question you want me to get back to you on, and you're a Stone Monitor level person, put in the title line, Stone Monitor level or Stone Monitor question or Stone Monitor or something like that, and then I'll get back to you either personally or on in a video. And today I got back to a couple people personally, and then I did a video because they said it was all right to put it out as a response to everyone, because over on Patreon, not here on YouTube, because it might help a lot of people. And it was a question like, hey, Illinois is getting ready to go to this no bail release January 1st, which means you can commit whatever kind of crime you want, pretty much short of premeditated murder, and you don't have to put up any cash to get out of jail. They'll take you in and they'll write you your ticket, and you can scoot on to hurt somebody else. And he was asking, what advice do you have for people who live in Illinois and surrounding areas? And I gave him my advice, and I'll just tell you right now, it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a war zone up there in Chicago, worse than it is now. So that's what Patreon is. If you'd like to join us, the link is down there. What's going to happen this Saturday? I don't know. I hear a lot of people, and I haven't heard a lot, but I've liked from titles of videos. I've seen what other people are suggesting. It could go anywhere from an economic collapse to a nuclear strike to a new treaty coming together. It could be ultimate good, it could be ultimate bad. I seriously doubt it's going to be ultimate good. We just don't live in a world where ultimate good happens that often anymore, does it? No. So I'm not looking for any real positive information on Saturday. Now, am I looking for something terribly bad to happen? Let's just say that I'm keeping my eyes and my ears open. I don't fret a lot about this stuff, right? Because that's the whole purpose of preparedness. Preparedness is supposed to put you at ease. It's supposed to put you in a frame of mind that, hey, I don't know what may happen, but when and if it does, I'm good. Now, if you've read my books, maybe I should have showed this here. Yeah, I know. Don't worry, I'm not trying to kiss you. I just had to reach for these. If you've read my books, and for those of you who haven't, the Stonemont series, that's what the Stonemont level over on Patreon is named after. This is an entire series of books that I wrote explaining exactly how to prepare for, survive, and then rebuild after the major catastrophe, the major collapse. And as I've said before, I have never been asked a question except one by Mike, which really didn't have to do with this stuff, that I haven't already addressed in detail in these books. So if you have prepared to this extent, or if you have used my books as a guideline to say, oh, okay, let me prepare for that, and it's not as complicated as you might think. Now, it takes work, it takes time, it takes some money, okay, but it's not necessarily complicated. It's a matter of seeing how everything works together, and the concept of integrative preparedness, which is what I explain in all these books here, in the form of a story. So it's not like a textbook where you have to read it. It's a story about people, about people. You'll like most of them. There'll be some you won't like, and good things happen and bad things happen, but it's, as I read yesterday, I think, the guy who wrote the foreword in the first three of books, John Middleton, said it's an unbelievably positive story about an unbelievably negative circumstance. That's what preparedness should bring you to. If you want these, you can get them through Amazon. I also put the links down here, how you can get them through Amazon in either paperback or Kindle, or you can get them from me personally, autographed, and there's explains how to do that down there too. Well, this is why I don't sweat this stuff. Because that's how I have prepared. The principles, I forgot to say, the principles of integrative preparedness is to be able to sustain yourself, to survive, without the support of all of the external interrelated systems over which you have little or no control. That is, lights and water and heat, all the power. All of those things that most people rely on from the outside. When you are able to provide those things for yourself, and there will be some people that will say, you can't provide everything. Well, to an extent that's true, but if you've read my books, or if you read my books, you might change your mind a little bit. See, people are limited by their current level of knowledge. Expand your knowledge and you'll see new ways to do things, new opportunities, and your limits will be decreased, or your limits will be at least pushed back. Your perceived limits, and most limitations are self-imposed, remember that. So this is why I don't sweat this stuff. What's going to happen Saturday? It could be something major. It could be. You know why I say that? I don't say that it's going to be. I say that it could be, because it always could be. And we always need to keep that in mind. You should be prepared on a daily basis for the lights to go out, for the grid to go down. You should always be prepared for that. There is no safe space, as we've talked about when we talk about self-protection and self-defense and some of the gun stuff that I talk about over on Patreon. There is no safe place, and there is no safe time. And I think that's what people need to really understand. There is no safe time. It could all go down before I get to the end of this video. It could not go down for another 10 years, but that's the thing. You don't know. And that's why you want to be prepared to the greatest extent you can be. Now, Saturday, we're going to be up in Jamesport, Missouri. When I was talking about this, Kelly said, well, we're going to be in a good place because Jamesport, Missouri is a big Amish community. As good as the Amish are and as prepared they are, I'd rather be in my own place when it all goes down because, okay? Read my books and you'll find out why. So, we will, and by the way, we will be at a show for any of you who happen to be up around that area. Jamesport, Missouri is up in northern Missouri, and I forget what major town. It's northeast of Gallatin. I know everybody from outside of Missouri is saying, Gallatin? Who cares about, who knows about Gallatin? Well, not very many people, but it's a craft show. It's a big craft show that's put on in the Amish country up there. I've never been up there. Kelly says it's just really cool. And they have a lot of shops and houses and different things. So she's setting up in their crafts festival with her soaps and freshies and things like that. We have another business thing going on that I'll be telling you about probably in the next few weeks. We'll see. Which brings me to this. Oh. So if you're up around there, feel free to stop in. We're going to be up there Friday and Saturday from 9 to 4. Hey, if you're up there, if you're around there, if you're one of our viewers, come over to the booth and say hi, introduce yourself. You don't have to buy anything. Just come over and say hi. We'll love to meet you and talk for a little bit. But the next thing that I wanted to say was, for those of you who have read the books, the Stone Monitors, I'm not going to tell you why I'm asking, but someday and it won't be too long, that you'll know why. If you would like, I would love to know your favorite quotes from the books. And that quote can be from anybody. It can be by anybody. It can be by Jim. It can be by Kelly. It can be by Christian or Bill or Ann or Tracy or anybody else. Or Aiden, or Brody, or Morgan. It could be anybody. Your favorite quotes. If you give more than one, give them to me in order, if you would. And if you can, tell me which book, because I don't always, it takes me a long time to find. You can imagine after writing 5 books, I can't always remember exactly, a certain thing, which book it was in, or, it takes me forever to find the page. So if you can find it, would you write down which book it's in and what page it's on and who said it? And it's something kind of fun that we're doing, something kind of cool, something you all might want to, something you all might enjoy. So anyway, Saturday, is it going to be the big one? Is it going to be something important? Is it really going to have a big effect on us? The answer is always maybe, maybe not. But the important thing is how much it's going to affect you. And the extent to which you are prepared determines the extent to which it will affect you. So, like so often, I always say use these little things, all these things that may or may not happen, use them as a drill. Whenever somebody gives a certain date on something, I think that's good. Give a date, because it gives you, a focused frame of time to say, what am I weak on? What do I need to tighten up on? If it really does happen, if I could be assured that something bad's going to happen, and you don't know what, I mean, it could be anything. It could be the banking system closes down. Could be an EMP attack. It could be a nuclear strike. It could be, you know, whatever. I don't know what it's going to be. You don't either. How would I do? You know, what do I need to do now before that date to tighten me up as much as my time and finances allows me to do? And then do it. Then if it happens, you're in good shape. If it doesn't happen, you're still in good shape because you'll be more ready than you were. Okay? Remember, as we always say, we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. If you haven't read the books, this would be a great way for you to prepare. There's stuff in here that you probably haven't thought of, and how to do it. And the way that you get those is down here. And come join us on Patreon if you're led to do that. If you can afford $1 and think that you'd like some extra content that I really can't put on here that would serve you well, come join us on Patreon. We'd love to have you. It's really a different community over there. It is real positive. You don't get the, you know, we don't have a lot of lame brains that come through here on YouTube, but you know, the occasional one that, you know, I bounce, but we don't have that over on Patreon. We don't have troublemakers. We don't have rude people. We have people over there that are nice and polite and really want to help each other. And it's a great place to be. I love it. I love all your comments on YouTube, but I tell you, I love it squared, the ones over on Patreon. So if you're so led, please come and join us over there. We'd love to have you. And get ready for Saturday. Could be something, could be nothing. If you're up in Jamesport, Missouri, come by and see us. We'd love to see you. And now I'm going to go back and start writing on the book again. All right? You all have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.